Hi everybody, it is L and L Soul Sisters. Now why did I choose that name? Hi there, I'm Lasha Rayenko, and if you haven't been to this channel before, L and L Soul Sisters, welcome. And what I do here on this channel is I'm taking deep dives into different books. I really tried with the Testaments. In reference to the Handmaid's Tale fans, I just found the series and then reading the book, I couldn't piece it together, you know. So I tried, but this is actually a book about the exorcism of Analese Micheal, who passed away in 1979. And she was born September the 2nd. Now, any references and any footnotes and any material that I put up is based on research that I've done, and the author that I'm reading the book, her name is, okay, I'm gonna spell it to you, Felicitas D. Goodman, 1914 to 2005, was Associate Professor of Anthropology at the Denison University in Granville, Ohio. A religious anthropologist, she wrote numerous books including Speaking in Tongues, How About Demons, Where the Spirits Ride the Wind, and Ecstasy, Ritual, and Alternate Reality. In 1978, she founded an institution based in Santa Fe, New Mexico. The institute is a nonprofit anthropological research and teaching institution specializing in ecstatic trance and the use of ritual body postures. To learn more about Dr. Goodman and her work, visit www.ritualbodypostures.com. So this was a book written about the exorcism of Analese Analese Micheal, and there was a movie called, obviously, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. On this channel, I will not be sharing pictures or the tapes. There are so many channels out there. You can find the tapes and the pictures of her. What's so interesting about this story is it actually went to court. And the movie, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, if you haven't seen it, I've shared before, it stars Jennifer Carpenter, Laura Linney, George C. Scott. Jennifer Carpenter's performance is unparalleled. I did a video about how little effects they had to use because her acting was enough. Now, chapter 2 takes a better deep dive into her life, and we have a guest reader tonight, and that would be my mother. Now, I wrote a song once, but I can remember it a cappella. However, I don't have time to get my guitar and remember how I played it. But it went like this. Ask yourself this question. What does your mother mean to you? And if you want to listen to that song, it is on my channel. I just don't want to sing it to you in an unprofessional way. So, in other words, I would prefer to give myself justice. So, mothers are everything, and my mother gave me some excellent tips. And so I am going to start chapter 2, Enter the Ghastly Faces. And my mother and I read the first 4 pages. She doesn't like to be on camera, so after I finish reading, my mother will finish the chapter. okay? And she's right over there, but I'll just have to bring the mic to her because I don't edit and splice and slice. I think that yeah.
Besides, I'm only wrapped in a pink blanket.
And she's wrapped in a pink blanket with bubble wrap because apparently she has the tiniest bones that the doctor ever saw, and it's no laughing matter. At any rate, ready?
Osteoporosis.
Yes, okay. Chapter 2. After the long and lazy days of summer, it was great fun to go back to school in September. Analese thought as she boarded the train for Aschaffenburg for the first school day of 1968 to 1969. The summer of 69. Who sang that song? And it was fun. All the old friends were there, especially Maria Budrick, with whom she spent the long intermission. The one at 10 o'clock, walking in the schoolyard. Usually they talked about going to the PH. Now this is a German word, and this is not an easy read. PADAGOGISCHE HOCH Schule in Wurzburg, and what the professors would be like there. Now, in reference to the professors and what they would be like and what the boys would be like, and then I'll teach you in some little village and all my kids will be well behaved and you'll come and visit me, Analese would say. Now, based on the history that I've researched about her, she was the type of gal that would bring every stray cat home. The cat, they had 15 or 20 cats in the house because Analese couldn't stand it if other people suffered. So when in looking back at that now and in the future, she would have had what they call an altruistic personality. Now, remember when I was talking about the aristocrats and the royal family and how they're the thread of the royal family, like the aristocrats, like Lady C. I don't know where she got Lady C from, but she's from Jamaica, so she's very proud of her heritage. So, Analese also was a virgin, and her mother tried to make her as young as possible. So when she was 16 years old and she wanted to go to school, that was a huge decision. And she really had to talk her mother, Anna, and her father, Joseph, into it. Now remember, Germany is right in between the old Czechoslovakia, Austria, Munich, the Netherlands, Denmark, Estonia, and it's right in the middle on the map. It's on the globe. If I have a chance, if I have a chance, I'll do a dance. But I'm saying that she had Catholicism woven into her system. She was as pious could be, like to the point of The Handmaid's Tale. Okay? Now, she also was a very sickly child, and I believe in looking back, she had anorexia. And I've known women who have had anorexia, and they have said to me, it did feel like a demon was holding me back. It's that strong. Now, I know science proves the opposite, but it's really God that creates the science. So, that's my little summarization of my thoughts about Analese, and these are the facts that I've read about her based on Dr. Goodman's research. Those are the sources, okay? Then, about the time of her 16th birthday, at the end of the month, it happened. And I'm thinking, well, what happened? It came up suddenly like a thunderhead, boiling up over the horizon, pregnant with lightning. The day before, she had been sitting in class at her place next to her friend Maria. Without warning, she had blacked out. Who blacks out in the middle of school? Maria had pressed her arm, right? So she's sitting in school, she blacks out. Can you imagine how scary that would be for somebody who comes from a village and then goes to school and she's never even really been to a big city? Mensch, she had whispered to her, Analese, what's the matter with you? Are you asleep or something? I suppose so. Analese shrugs, like so dazed. Maybe I studied too much. They both giggled a little and then forgot about it. Like Johnny Depp in that movie, Donnie Brasco. Forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about it. Ah, the monocles are coming to New York. Forget about it. I'm not taking that. Now, but this is serious, and this can be a lot of things. My battery's running low. We're going into 11 minutes. That night, shortly after midnight, she woke up and could not move. Could you imagine that feeling? Have you had that feeling before? A giant force was pinning her down. It pressed on her abdomen, and she could feel her warm urine spilling out. So she soaked herself. She was so scared. Her breathing became labored. In utter panic, she wanted to call to her sisters, but no sound came out. Her tongue was as if it paralyzed. Holy Mother of God, she thought to herself, I must be dying. By the time the tower clock of the church sounded the quarter hour, it was over. All pressure ceased as if to blow away. Only her tongue felt sore. Now, what I find interesting about this piece is nowadays that would be considered a night terror. But are they night terrors? I don't know. Drop it in the comments. Tell me what you think. I felt that way. I've had that happen to me before, but I didn't have a sore tongue the next day. Whimpering with terror, so exhausted. Now, that's not happened to me before with a night terror, but it can happen. It's a real thing, night terrors. And you can get dehydrated, okay? And she was tiny already. So these types of events would have taken a lot out of her, and she was very pious. So exhausted she could hardly move, she got up and changed the linen on her bed. Next day, she told her mother Anna that she was too tired to go to school. Mama, she said, I must have been awfully sick last night. My bed was all soaked through. So Anna let her stay home and made her tell what happened. A sick worry swept through her. What could this have been? Back then it would have been terrifying. But you know, even back in the 50s, because she would have been in her 70s if she had lived. My bed was all soaked. So Anna, okay, so the mother let her stay home. Now the mother was very, Analese and her mother had a very codependent relationship when you really read into it. Now, okay, this is interesting because summer came and gone, or sorry, Christmas came and gone, the leaves changed, the season changed, everything was well. You know, the four sisters and the brother, Greta, everybody's having a great time. Maria Dutch, her friend, who she confided in. But then nearly 1 year later, now before I speak on the second incident, I should have done the research first in reference to epilepsy, because they don't usually happen per year. And what I want you to think about before I read this, did you ever see the Netflix series Messiah, and the young girl that he chose because he felt that she was pure of heart, and she had fits of epilepsy and they would happen to her? I'm just saying, watch Messiah. I would say start at episode 2 and move forward. Then nearly a year later, during the night of August 24th, 1969, summer of 69 wasn't fun, Brian Adams. Whatever it was struck again, exactly as before. There was the brief blacking out during the day where she just sat and did not know what it was. Like, she didn't know what to do about it. She was terrified. And she's 16 years old. And 16 years old back in the 50s is different than 16 years old now. And in the middle of the night, that frightening paralysis with her arms completely stiff and the inability to breathe, and that desperate attempt to call out, to scream for help. And then with like total futility, like it was like she was awake, but she couldn't fight it. So she wasn't having a seizure. And whatever force, it would not let her move. And this is the second time. So digest that, okay? Just digest it. And remember, I'm doing this in honor of her because I get a little disturbed sometimes with certain content because I feel like it's exploitation. I do. So I'm sorry, but if you don't want to say prayers with me, then just shut the video off. But every day I do a gratitude journal, and today is Saturday. Last Saturday I did Singing Saturday, and this is actually part 5 of the Analese Micheal series that's posted on at Lisa Rajenko 7331, or L and L Soul Sisters is like, it looks like